If you want to be a therapist, watch this. Hi, I'm Ashley Phillips, and I'm a certified EMDR therapist. If you've ever thought, I'd love to be a therapist someday, this video is for you. Being a therapist is one of the most meaningful careers out there, but it's not just about listening, and it's definitely not about giving advice. It's about holding space for people's deepest emotions, helping them heal, and often doing a lot of your own healing along the way. Today, we'll talk about what it takes to become a therapist, the education, the emotional readiness, the different paths you can take, and what work looks like day to day. Let's start with the basics. How do you actually become a therapist? In most places, the process includes kind of four main steps. You need a bachelor's degree, usually in psychology, social work, counseling, or human development. Then you'll need a master's degree or a doctorate, and this is where you specialize in areas such as counseling, psychology, clinical social work, marriage and family therapy, or clinical psychology. You'll also have supervised clinical hours. You'll practice under a licensed supervisor, typically completing between 500 to 3,000 hours, depending on your state or province. Then there's the licensing exams. Each region differs. You may need to pass licensing exams or boards in order to practice. For others, you may need to apply to be part of their association to be accountable to. For example, in British Columbia, where I work, social workers and psychologists need to pass their licensing exams, among many things, to be registered with their college. For counselors and psychotherapists, as of October 2025, there is no government authorized body to oversee them, so they often become part of an association instead. This will be changing in BC, so stay tuned. It is a long process, but each step helps you to develop the skills and the confidence you'll need to support clients effectively. You're not just learning theories, you're learning how to understand the human experience, the emotional side of being a therapist. So let's now talk about the emotional side, because this career is deeply personal. You're going to need emotional resilience. Clients are going to share their grief, their traumas, their fears, and it's really important to learn how to hold these stories without carrying them home. You'll grow through supervision and therapy. Many therapists have their own therapists because we can't exactly help others if we haven't healed from what we haven't explored in ourselves. And boundaries are essential. Compassion does not mean extending yourself. Healthy boundaries protect you and your clients and make your work more sustainable. Finding your therapeutic modality. So when you look at a master's program, you'll notice that it's built on a really broad foundation. It's not just therapy. It's about understanding people, systems, and social structures that influence well-being. For example, with my master's program, they have core courses in counseling theory, assessments, ethics, social justice, research, and field practice. And then we got to move into different electives that fit our interests, whether that's counseling in schools or agencies, addictions, families, and children. From my experience, we're taught a wide range of counseling theories, and then it's really up to us to decide which direction to go in. EMDR, for example, is something you might get exposed to. You'll hear about it, there'll be some discussions about it, but you're most likely not going to receive formal training or certification in it during your program. And that's true for most modalities. You'll get introduction to a lot of different frameworks, but you're not fully trained at any single one of them. But again, this will depend on your academic institution. Here's some of the most common ones you might encounter along the way. There's psychoanalytic, Adlerian, existential, person-centered, Gestalt, behavioral. And this all includes CBT or cognitive behavioral therapy to really focus on changing negative thought patterns. You might get exposed to DBT, which is dialectical behavioral therapy, which teaches mindfulness and emotional dysregulation and distress tolerance. You might get exposed to EMDR, which is eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, which uses bilateral stimulation to help clients heal from traumatic memories. There's also the humanistic or person-centered therapy, which really emphasizes empathy, authenticity, and unconditional positive regard. And you might be exposed to somatic or body-based therapies and how we address emotions and trauma that is stored in the body. Most therapists end up blending several modalities to create an approach that feels natural for them and fits what their client needs. So what does the work of a therapist actually look like? You hold space, It's not about solutions. Therapy is not about fixing people. It's about guiding them towards their own insights and healing. You balance deep work with practical tools. Some sessions are about emotions and processing, and others are more about skills, coping strategies, and behavioral change. You're going to keep learning continuously. The field of mental health is always evolving, so workshops, certifications, and new research keeps you growing throughout your career. And trust me when I say you will always be reading and learning. In my day-to-day, I witness transformation. I watch clients find peace, confidence, and self-understanding, and that's one of the most rewarding parts of this profession. If you feel drawn to this work, trust that calling. Being a therapist is about empathy, curiosity, and growth. And it's not about being perfect. It's about being present, genuine, and committed to your own development as much as your clients. If you'd like to learn more about EMDR therapy or explore training opportunities in trauma-informed care, check out the links below for resources and guidance. And if you're already on a path to becoming a therapist, keep going. The world needs you.